Now y'all know this is my theme music. Now you gotta get into it. Get into it. What's up, everybody?
Hey. What's happening, everybody?
What is going on? It seems like it's been forever.
I know.
It's been too long.
Yeah,
Everybody's looking good. Looking
Hey.
good.
Right,
Looking good, everybody.
I see you with your Valentine's shade.
Hey, Jenean, how was your summer, girl?
Ooh, too short and too hot. But I worked it out anyway. But Lord be an air conditioner.
I know, right? Bring it on, bring it on. Okay,
Man.
Pastor Rick.
Yep, I'm excited. First of all, my summer was all day bomb. It was wonderful. I traveled, relaxed, hung out a little bit. Now we're back for season 2. I'm excited. This is the whole season, y'all. This is good.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Jesus. Okay, Dr. Collins. Dr. Collins.
Listen, my summer was very busy, but extremely rewarding. And I'm back because once again, it's on.
It's on like, come on now. Well, for those who don't know us, we are the Ship Squad. Welcome to Ships. This is the relationships show where we chronicle the difficult and hidden world of true to life relationships. So we had an amazing first season. This is our season premiere for season 2. And as you guys know, we're going to jump right in with Message in a Bottle.
Message in a bottle. There's a message in a bottle. There's a message in a bottle, baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Gonna roll our open, Rick, or we just go to it. All right. Hey, I tried.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Okay. So, oh man, this one came from far. I didn't want to come out of the bucket. Okay, guys, are y'all ready?
Ready.
Are y'all ready? Okay, now.
Ready.
Okay, so this dear Ship Squad, I am a 38-year-old woman, and I have been dating my fiance for 8 years. We are raising 4 kids. I had 1 prior, and we have 3 together. He asked me to marry him about 3 years ago after I threatened to leave because I believed he was having an affair. We have had another child since then, and I still don't have a ring. Every time I bring it up, he gets defensive and tells me that I'm trying to rush something that will last forever. Why won't he just formally propose with a nice ring so we can officially get married? I was raised in the church, so I don't feel good knowing that we're shacking. I don't even go to church anymore because I don't want to feel like a hypocrite. He says he's saving up for a nice ring, but he keeps buying expensive clothes and automobiles. Should I just be more patient and wait on my change to come? Or have I just been wasting my time expecting this man to be my husband? But I would hate to have been waiting this darn long in vain. Please help, sick and tired sister. Woo, child, sick and tired sister. Okay, we're gonna start with you, Pastor Rick.
Well, right offhand, they're already married technically. By law, they are.
Right.
They've done everything but the matrimony. You know, they've done everything but the wedding and the ring, the whole 9 yards. This is my thought on it. I believe wholeheartedly that she needs to stay. Why go? At this point, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving?
She is a Christian and she wants to get married.
Okay. How much of a Christian were you when you were making babies? I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh.
No, I mean really, seriously.
Yeah.
When you were calling God's name in vain, how much of a Christian were you then? Just saying.
Yes, Sam.
That's my 2 cents.
Okay, so look.
Long pause.
I think that. Wait, did she say she doesn't? No engagement ring.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope. Nope.
But he did propose, right?
He proposed, right? So she says
Okay,
that
so
was only after she threatened to leave because she thought he was cheating on her.
So there's an engagement without the ring. Okay. So first of all, I don't even think that that's possible, but potato. I am concerned for women because we get excited about anything that remotely suggests a wedding is down the road. And we take that and we hold on to it. It's like getting magic beans, right? And throwing them out the window and watering them every day. And then every morning you get up and look out the window because you're waiting for the beanstalk. I think, and not all men, I think that some men know, I don't want to say that we're desperate, but they understand how we're hardwired. And so they string us along with the promise, and you end up with babies and a mortgage and rent and then your common law, and they're like, I can string you along and never have to make good on it. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, he needs to go. Her and the babies need to go, and he needs to decide, is he going to put a real ring on it? And at this point, the ring and the ceremony need to be about 48 hours apart.
But he's forcing the situation. She's forcing him to marry.
I agree. He doesn't want to get married. Like,
which is why she needs to go.
Yeah, I agree. She needs to, girl. Look,
if marriage is what she wants, and she's convicted because she is shacking, and she has these kids, and she did this outside of the parameters of marriage, not judging,
right?
But if she is strongly convicted about that, and she's like, talk to Jesus, can't go another further, then she has a hard decision to make, because if he wanted to be married, he would have been.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted.
Well, Kevin James has something here.
He should do the right thing and marry her. If he didn't want marriage, then he see, I have a issue with doing the right thing, because if you don't want me,
I think we're all missing it.
Okay, go ahead. Enlighten us, Dr. Hosea.
Please.
That's why you have a doctor before
let me
get my water. I'm gonna need it. Okay.
Let me start here. And I feel sorry for her, because basically she's uncomfortable in the bed she made.
Yes.
And now you've made this bed because you've gotten into this relationship. You've allowed it to go on so long. Because the one thing I can say about this man, he has been consistent.
Yes, he has.
He's the one that's changing at this point, saying, no, I don't want to do this any longer. And now notice this. This is where she's failing to really, people don't pay attention and read the signs, because they'll actually tell you what to do. History is an incredible teacher if you're willing to take the class. Watch this. They went on all of this time, and she said 3 years ago she was fed up with taking his crap and he cheating on her, and she was out. She garnered the power to leave. When he saw that she was serious, he made a verbal commitment to her that he had never made in all of the relationship. And because of that verbal commitment, she decided to stay. Now she realized that verbal commitment didn't go past verbal.
Right.
Because why? At this point, we see he doesn't want to lose her.
No.
He just doesn't want to commit in the form of marriage. Right. He's willing to play house. He just don't want to make it official. So now if she reads from history, and if she's really fed up and wants a change, what you receive in life will always be determined by what you're willing to lose.
That's right.
Yeah. If she makes a hard stand right now and say, I love you, I love our family, and I don't want this to leave, but our family deserve more. Our children deserve more. And if we're going to make this official, then I'm with it. But otherwise, I will not make believe and pretend any longer. And when he knows that she's 100% serious, just as he had to put up and shut up before, he will step up to the plate. But a man like this needs more motivation than your attitude.
See,
No
Hosea,
question though, but at that point, if you have to have that conversation,
That's what I was
is it even worth it?
Exactly.
But now I'm back to Rick. You done gave up 8 years of your life to now wonder if it's worth it? You should have had that conversation 7 years ago.
I agree. I completely agree. I just,
I'm with you, Jenean. I'm with you.
You know,
I feel like if we got to tell you, look, you need to marry me. You don't really want to marry me.
No. He don't really want to marry. You see the difference?
He don't want to marry her.
He don't want to marry.
He doesn't want to marry.
He don't want to marry. I don't care if her name was Holly. He don't want to marry.
Right.
Her name can be Mary. He don't want to add a R. You understanding what I'm saying?
No, it seems like he don't want to marry her.
What are you talking about? He don't want to marry.
Like he's waiting for something else better to come along, Pastor.
Absolutely not.
No, he's got a family. Now you're right. He don't want that commitment to where he's not flexible anymore, but he doesn't want to marry. And what happens with this man? They wait till they old, tired, and raggedy and don't nobody else want them no more. Then they bring you a ring.
Time for a hip replacement.
Right.
Time for a hip or knee replacement, and they need somebody to help him.
They need a nurse.
Right. Once he's gotten all the energy out of him, when he's done,
that is
going around town doing his thing, it says, come on, let's go. But that's not even a marriage
like that. How do you?
This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. It's vain to complain about anything you permit.
Maybe she didn't know better. Maybe she was a baby in Christ.
Can't you be in the process of growth and self-discovery and coming into the knowledge of self, and you wake up along that journey and say, "Ooh, I don't like where I'm at now because who I used to be got me in this situation. I'm not her anymore. This doesn't work. This is what I want. This is what I need." There's got to be room for that.
So are you complaining or doing something? Which one are you doing?
I'm telling her to bounce.
I'm saying don't complain about anything you permit. So as long as you're permitting it, you're not really warranted to keep complaining about it because you are enabling it. You are creating the situation you ate.
I think right now she probably feels, with all the time and the love invested in the children, that she would obviously love for it to work out. And
so
she would love for him to be a man of his word.
Stick it out.
And do what he said he was going to do.
Hold on.
Let's take a poll. So Rick, stay or go?
Oh, it's a stay.
Stay. Me, Zondra, go. Jenean?
Go.
Watch this.
Dr. Hosea?
Stay because you're not leaving. Because you're torturing yourself because you're not going nowhere. I'm not telling you to stay because it's the right thing to do.
Got it. Okay.
I'm telling you to accept what you're going to do, or you're going to keep torturing yourself and making yourself miserable.
Maybe that's why she's asking us for our advice. Maybe when she listened to this broadcast, she may say, okay, you know what?
Okay, can I put it another way then? You need to mess or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
Can I put it the other way? I'm joking. No.
Y'all, excuse me. I have a sunbeam coming through.
Speaking of mess or get off the pot, and speaking of whether we should stay or go, let's go into our topic for today.
Come on now.
We got a special guest, Brother Donovan, very handsome brother. I guess he just can't find the right one, ladies, and maybe one of you out there can change his mind. But we're going to bring him on. We're going to find out what it is that's keeping him single. And I want to know, I got questions. I got questions. So let's bring them on. Donovan.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
What's happening, my brother?
I wasn't expecting that intro, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Welcome.
So Donovan, welcome to Ships. We're so happy to have you here
welcome.
today, and we promise to be sweet and nice and not to
This little banner running at the bottom. Why won't he commit? I feel like I'm in an interrogation room, but
you are.
I like to request my lawyer. I'd like to request my lawyer at this point.
We're gonna get right to it. So first, give us a little bit of a brief intro about yourself. Who are you, and so what brings you to this point where you're single?
Man, I am. So let's see. I'm a author, photographer, certified life coach. By day, I work at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. 42 years old, no kids, single. Because I haven't found anybody that actually fits the vision and is willing to commit to the vision like I have. Okay.
So what's the vision?
So I have a vision of what God showed me my life is, and it's in accordance and alignment with my purpose. Okay. And so everything that I am committed to in my life, be it self-care, be it my job, be it any other kind of commitments I'm associated with, all of them need to partner and complement each other. And I just haven't found that in a woman. So until I find something that complements that commitments that I've already made, then I'll remain happy and single.
Single. Okay. So if you never find that right woman, you'll be okay just riding this thing out and dying alone?
Perfectly. I'm not alone. I got a community.
I mean, well, you know what I mean. Just
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Without that. Now, listen, I've wanted to be married since I was in single digits. Since I was 6, 7 years old, I wanted to be married and have kids. Really? And yeah, I've always wanted that. I wanted to be a fireman and grow up and be married and have children. Somehow I became a male exotic dancer and had some abortions and I ain't got no kids and I'm still single. So those stories are polar opposites of each other. Right. But yet and still in my heart, I want what I want, but I recognize I had been idolizing it anyway, even as a Christian. That wasn't God was. What did you say now?
Let's go back. You said you were a male exotic dancer and you had abortions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Let's talk about it.
Let's go back to so what where were you at in your life that you decided to be an exotic dancer?
Trying to get into Hollywood, and Hollywood wouldn't accept me through all the auditions, so I chose her wicked stepsister, which is the male exotic world, the sex trade world, all that kind of stuff. Okay. You know, when people, I don't know if you know this, but when people can't make it in Hollywood, there's a community of us that turn to what we call her wicked stepsister, the closest thing we can get to Hollywood, being hood famous. So like my friends that do, porn, my friends that were call girls, my friends that was the next best option.
Right. Okay. And so during that time, you would say it was a dark time or a lost time in your life. Would you say? Would that be safe?
Didn't feel like it in the moment, but yes. Okay. In retrospect, yes, I was lost. I was upset, and every piece of my behavior showed that I was acting up.
Okay. So what was the change? What was the click that had you say, okay, what am I doing?
Crazy enough, April 24th, 2004, I was sitting on the side of this bed in this hotel. I was having like what I call a Donnie day. And that's when I self-reflect and whatnot. And I was sitting on the side of the bed, and I was still going to church, putting dollar bills in the, in the offering tray and all that kind of stuff. I was, why are you laughing, Pastor? Y'all didn't turn my money away. It had glitter on it and everything. But listen.
Hey, brother, you weren't doing nothing but sanctifying it.
If he can cleanse me, he can cleanse the money. I don't know. That might not be biblical, but
go ahead.
So I was sitting on the side of the bed. My heart's desire never changed as a child. The prayer was real simple. It said, I was sitting on the side of the bed. I was looking out the patio window, and I said, God, my wife and kids won't respect me if I'm doing this. Where that prayer came from, I don't know. My heart overflow from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I just said, God, they won't respect me if I'm doing this. And he said, I never heard him audibly, but something came up in my spirit, and the word was quit. And so that previous weekend, I had just had a party, made all this money, and he said, quit. And I quit. And that's how bad I wanted a wife and kids. Like I quit. I never went back, didn't have a going away party, passed up on a lot of money and different opportunities. God actually stripped my life of everything after that moment. But that was the moment that I left that club alone and started to go down a new path. That was very mysterious, but I thought there was a promise attached to it. So
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so you so with the abortions, was that something that you wanted, or was it something that just happened that because I know you wanted kids, but did your
I
kids have to be with your wife? Is that why the abortion thing?
I never ever got specific with that vision. I never got specific with that at that age.
Okay.
The abortions that I did have, I wanted them.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I wanted every mother, but I definitely wanted every child.
Wow.
And I voiced that. But I was in this place of it's not not my body, not my choice. So I had to come to a place of just supporting whatever the woman wanted to do. And I'm 20s. You know what I'm saying? So you're not really well versed in that arena and communicating and stuff. So what made financial sense, what made logical sense. And so that was the path we took. I'm pretty sure a lot of us, because it wasn't the same woman 10 times, I'm pretty sure a lot of us kind of look back and be like, man, I wonder what life would be like had I not.
So you've had 10 abortions? Is that
from my count? Yeah, and I think two of them were twins.
wow. Okay. Okay.
Donovan, how did that play in your spirit, knowing that, looking back now? I mean, at the moment, of course, you're living it out, but now that you look back at it, how does a person deal with that? As a man, I never hear men talk about this perspective.
True. Rick, that's
so
true.
I'm curious on how it makes you feel. How did that change you as a person?
In the moment, like you said, it hurt. I was like, ugh, like, okay, man, but life goes on. They never really entered my life. So what did I really lose? Right. But in my 30s, bruh, like even right now, I prepared myself to discuss this. So I'm able to get all the words out. But I went through a dark season in my 30s because when I was a kid, I told God I want to be married and I want to have 10 kids. That's exactly what I said. And so when I found out that it was like 10 abortions, I was like, I messed up. In my 30s, I realized I messed up because I actually took count, and I felt like I gave up on marriage at that point in my mind, not in my heart. And I was like, I don't even deserve. And I went through this whole self-loathing season, and then started to act out again, not having sex. I was like abstinent for like 10 years. But yeah, I was a wreck in my 30s, and now I'm at peace. And like you asked me, like if I didn't get married and have kids, would I be okay? I went through a whole season of I don't even think I deserve it. So now I'm just like, whatever God gives me at this point, I am extremely grateful for. I'm just gonna steward whatever it is. If it's somebody else's kids, if it's my nieces and nephews, like I'm in this place of supreme gratitude at this point.
Okay. That's good. That's real good. Okay, so let's talk about this woman that you can't find.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this woman. Okay, so you just said that whatever God gives you or bring to you. So up until this point, I will say once you've gotten your life together and you've really embraced what God has for you, is the vision is it your vision or is it God's vision as to what this woman? Because we've had this discussion on this show quite a bit of times. Is it your division? And let me give you an example of what I'm saying. Because
I'm listening.
You and I are similar in that sense, and that's where they've been kind of counseling me, where I have in my mind what the guy should look like and what he should be, and kind of pastors kind of help me out of that to kind of change my pastor. Because one of the things you said is I was a lazy dater.
Yeah.
Certain things I would do, I would just
you want everything to come fully ready-made.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like prepackaged.
You want to be able to throw it in the microwave, 5 minutes, done.
Yeah.
So would you say that's something that you are in that same kind of space or no?
Not so much what she looks like, but what she's about. Okay. That's been a struggle.
She can look
for
like
me.
Anything. So she can be.
Man, people have been surprised. They've been surprised about the women that I've chose to date. Because when I get that feeling, you know what I'm saying, I can see beauty in almost anything. You know what I'm saying to you. If she's not, like we like to say, if her looks aren't trending, if she doesn't look like, the celebrities out there or whatnot, but she does something for me. Like she brings this laughter to me and she makes life a little bit easier. Like that right there gets my attention. I'm a photographer. I've been doing that since 2008. I've seen beautiful women clothed and unclothed. So a lot of that doesn't move me. Okay. You know what I'm saying to you? It takes something more than that.
Anybody got a chance. So pretty much any woman got a chance.
I would say yes. Okay. Any born woman has a chance. Pastor Rick told me I should be specific.
That's a fact, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's a fact.
So here's a question, Donovan.
Yeah.
Has anyone come close?
Yeah, I was in premarital counseling before the pandemic hit. Yeah, I found a young lady. Pastor Rick knows who she is, and yeah, we went into premarital counseling, and that's the path you go to. That's the formality or protocol that I was taught, and I actually like it. And in premarital counseling, we found some things, and it was amicable when we separated. It was like, okay, all right, I got this feel from God. I didn't want to tell her that God was putting this on my heart, but when I finally did, she was like, he already told me it was coming. So we kind of both understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That was good premarital counseling, brother.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. If they can break you up, then you guys did good.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the goal every time when people do come. But that's the goal. It's like, do you really want to be together?
Good, though.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, another question. Donovan, did you hear our message in a bottle? Did you hear us talking about the young lady and her situation? I would love to get your feedback on her situation.
I'm really siding with the doctor on this one. Regardless of what you wrote in that letter, in that bottle, you've been talking with your life for the last 8 years. So maybe, we haven't heard his side. We don't know if he's really ever tried. And this, as a coach, I definitely like to hear all sides of the story, but I'll just go on all these, I'll just assume a lot of things, right? Just to answer your question. But when your life has been saying one thing for 8 years and then all of a sudden you have a change of heart, you can't put such a huge mandate on somebody else to respond to your sudden change of heart without having like a serious conversation about a lot of details of things that happen. So I would say stay and have a very intense conversation with a third party. Yeah. Bring a third party into it and let's talk about what the real issue is here, because what you've been settling for and contributing to and tolerating, I'll say that, there's a reason behind that. And so why the sudden change? So let's talk before we, break up what is a family already, regardless of if it's, legally, or if you've given this marriage over to the state. What have you been doing in the eyes of God? Like Pastor Rick said, like, technically, you guys have been walking in to a certain degree without the covering.
Right. I have a question. As it relates to, the show, Why Won't He Commit? I think oftentimes women tend to look at men as they're afraid. They're afraid of commitment. They're afraid to settle down. They're afraid of this. But see, you bring up a very interesting perspective that's often not considered, which is really biblical, that you have a vision for your life.
Yeah.
You believe that God has given you this vision, this plan, and you received it, and you haven't yet saw the helpmeet that God would have ordained to assist you in the fulfillment of this vision. So oftentimes, as it relates to I'm not ready, I'm not this, I'm not that, maybe it's a hard pill to swallow for some women to realize I'm not what he sees as the helpmeet for where he's going, because most people make a huge mistake by not knowing where they're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, who do you know needs to come along for the ride or the journey?
Exactly.
And all of that. Here is my question.
Yeah.
Are there things like, are you one that checking off the boxes, and the moment a box you can't check off, is that instant disqualification? Or are you more of strike one?
Nah, I take the approach, Pastor Rick, help me with this, man. I take the approach of who was Isaac's father?
Yes, Abraham.
Abraham. So Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac, correct?
Yes.
And when he went to his homeland to find that wife, he asked the Lord to make me successful in my choosing. He said, give me a question to ask, and whoever answers a certain way, that's the one I will consider. And so that's my approach. I don't have a checklist, but I do know that one thing that God brought to me, and I learned this dealing with Pastor Rick over at Destined Youth, is that sometimes a woman will like your anointing, but she won't like your appointing. Yeah. She likes what God planned is on your life, but she don't really like where he sent you and where he's sending you. And that's been an issue for me. The woman doesn't, she likes me, loves the chemistry, loves the anointing, and I'm feeling her and we vibing, but you got to minister to those people. Right. You have to be so vulnerable and transparent when you go out there. So it's not a checklist for me. It's really along the lines of, God, give her some insight into my purpose and help me to see that she's compatible with my purpose and I with hers.
That's good, brother.
That's really good.
She loves you, but not your assignment.
Yeah.
Donovan, I have a quick question. When it comes down to finding that woman, biological born woman, my question is, do you look more for traditional or more modern? Meaning she's set up, educated, the whole 9 yards. Is it something that like, that's not for me, and so forth?
I'm so torn with that, man, because I think my heart wants that Southern belle, that traditional, like, you know, that role and whatnot. But then my mind is definitely like a more modern, because I'm thinking about what I bring to the table. I'm bringing more of a modern feel myself, but my heart loves that Southern traditional type. So yeah, I don't have a straightforward answer on that. I am struggling within myself, hoping that that won't be a hard yes or no when I do meet her. And every time I meet somebody that I do feel like fits the script, I'm something I'm working on. I'm a big romanticizer. So if I see you one day in the gym and I like you, I'm already thinking about marriage. I'm already thinking about like
the pastor. You said that don't happen. No.
I never.
Listen, ladies, did you hear that?
It didn't happen. It's just, but
the ones that want it on purpose, are thinking that.
And he fits what I said about that. I said, unless he's a godly man that's pursuing God's purpose for his life, that's the one. I was telling you, the average Joe you meet ain't looking at you thinking bride first, not the average Joe.
And my friends have told me I need to slow down a little bit, because she ain't even have to talk to me yet or show me any like special interest. I'm already thinking like, so I need to start, I need to put this kind of money away, because I know I need to make sure she has this, you know, because I see her coming here. I'm already planning this thing out in my head. And you know, sometimes I don't know if that's a God thing or if it's a good thing. So I kind of just sit with my community and they Donovan, slow down. Like, there's a girl that I'm interested in. They're like, you know, you're going to go on this date. Like, Don, don't propose on the first date, because I'll do something like that. If I feel strong enough, I will. I'm wild. How many
times have you been engaged?
Actually, I wasn't even engaged when we went to premarital counseling.
So have you ever been engaged?
I love it.
No, I've been proposed to a few times, but I've never.
Wait.
Rewind that tape.
How many times, Donovan?
3.
Now, was that a turn on or a turn off?
I'm not a fan. No, me and my boys have this conversation often. Like, would you let a woman propose to you? And my answer is always yes. I would let her, because it's just something that's in her heart she wants to do. But after she does that, then I'm gonna do my thing. I'm not gonna shut her moment down. But I'm definitely gonna step back into what I feel like is traditional and say, okay, so let's do it. Let's do it this way now. Let me follow that up. Cause if this is a woman that I love, I never want to come at something she feels so set in her heart about, regardless if I agree with it or not, with a stop that, don't you do that. That ain't right. I love her. I'm gonna be tender with her. And then I'm gonna come behind her and do what I feel like is right in the eyes of God.
So did you do that? So with them 3 proposals?
No, they weren't for me. No.
Okay.
I wasn't even dating these women.
It's just something that, okay.
You weren't dating them?
No, man. No, these is just, then they bought rings and everything. It was just like,
wait. So what you're saying?
Pastor Rick knows most of these
rings and approached you and proposed, and you hadn't gone out, you hadn't had coffee.
This is what I gotta go through.
I knew them. I knew them. I knew 2 of them in the biblical sense of knowing. But one of them I did not.
Okay. So they might have been meat poisoned a little bit. They were trying to.
Wow.
Okay.
Meat poison. Oh,
that's good. So I have to use that.
Because it happens. And then look, if you get meat poison enough, you will go buy a ring.
Poison.
But interestingly enough, the ones that did propose, I wasn't actively dating or intimate with them. This is just something that came up with in the time. One of them was my ex-girlfriend. This was years after we were together. Another one was a woman that I had dealt with, but she had went a separate way, and the other one was just a fan from the club. So yeah, that I never had any intimacy with. So I just felt like that was the best way to bait and catch.
So here, okay. So question.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier. You said you can be content if you never find the one.
Yeah, if God doesn't present that, I can be content.
You can be content.
Yeah.
Does that contentment include celibacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Okay. It does, and it includes a whole bunch of pain and suffering and crying. But it can be done.
Pain and suffering and crying. Okay.
And sometimes that's what it looks like when you walk in your promised son up that mountain to sacrifice him. Like sometimes you got to put your deepest desires on the altar and say, okay, God, if this is your will, some people have that garden moment, and they just got to be like, it's not easy. Can I be content? Yeah. Will I need all the Lord's strength? I definitely would. But I'll do it. And yes, it would include celibacy.
Teach a moment for men too. My question is for you. Very rarely do a lot of men try to keep themselves until marriage. My question is, what are some things you do outside of working out? Because I know you're a gym rat somewhat. Is there something you do, I'd say spiritually, to keep yourself from, or even naturally, just avoid? I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah, man. My big thing was music. Coming from the strip club, all those music. I was a fantasy salesman, so it's all intended to entice and to bring about certain thoughts. And that's the mind. The mind is the battlefield, and so having to give up certain music, is always going to be a struggle because it's a sermon and it's preaching to you. I feel like all music is worship music, but what you worshiping. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's always been a big one for me. And then I had to really curve like the conversations I would have with friends, coming from a place where we have very perverted humor. Sometimes you got to step away from that because it's funny until you alone and you're driving down the street trying to figure out, I'm gonna make this left on this block, or if I'm gonna call this person. Those jokes come back to haunt you.
Talk that talk, son.
And then also, being around people who are also trying to pursue that path of celibacy. And for me, it grew bigger than just celibacy, which is the abstinence of it all. But purity is what God told me. You know what I'm saying to you? It's not just I'm not doing anything physically. Like, is your heart and your mind pure though? And so even after years of being abstinent and abstaining from, intercourse, I had to start getting into that place of purity. That's what he really wants for me.
Amen. That's good.
That's good.
So are you celibate now going forward?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So and so that in what they've said is it is difficult, and I'm glad that you're sharing this the celibate route. So my next question, so are you open for, so let's just say we get a bunch of sisters that start emailing, me interested in you. So are you open for let me just say this. What's the woman that you're looking for? What's your vision? So let's just start there. That the women that you said you've come in contact with have not met your vision. So what is your vision?
I have my superficial things, that turn me on. Are they a requirement? No. But a nice pair of ankles and eyebrows is a winner every day. I didn't come here to be judged. I didn't. Hey. Ankles is top on the list though. With a nice little ankle.
What do those ankles look like? Outside, small ankles, big ankles. I'm like, what?
When I see them, me and my boy have these t-shirts called Ankle Army because we just love a nice pair of ankles.
Now you're gonna have me looking at my ankles.
Look, I was just about to say, how many are looking at their ankles right now?
My ankles, mine was bony, but
nothing wrong with ankles, Donovan.
None at all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so nice ankles. So that means no blemishes. Do the bone need to stick out on the side? Is that like
it's a certain look that I love to see.
When we getting ankle surgery, yes, that's the brother. Come on. Oh I don't think you should give that away, Donovan.
Every time I talk about this topic, the same thing happens. It's just so what is it? But
no, that's why we'll be getting the no more pigs feet package. You just take some off the side.
Donovan, I thought I knew you, bro. This is the you one for me.
Hey, brother, you done took freaky to another level. They ain't showing up in your bed with handcuffs. They got ankle bracelets on.
Yes. Yes.
Come on now. I know
Everybody
that's
likes
right.
what they like, man. Them
No, I hear
ankles
you
and
have a right to
eyebrows
an
Right.
eyebrow.
and a
Okay.
great sense of humor. Like those are great things for me. Are they required? No, but I love that. But what does she look
Okay.
like outside of that? Definitely an open-minded woman who is able to see, either able to see or is put forth efforts to see God's hand in everything, no matter what the suffering or the trial is. I was on a show last night, and the question was, "What's the hardest part about dating you?" And I said the hardest part about dating me is sometimes my perspective, because it's really hard for me to identify threats and for me to like complain about situations, because I just believe God so much in certain areas that it's like that's not a threat to me. I got angels with me, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I don't come to her aid or defend, like my previous ex. Like you say, you didn't keep me safe. I was like, I didn't see where you were unsafe. But that can be a problem when a woman feels like she needs to be protected. So I'm trying to learn how to speak her protective language, but then also when it comes like to just how I see life and struggles, I'm all about like self-development and me becoming better. So I've been guilty of in past relationships when a woman tells me like this happened at work or this happened with my friends and whatnot, I'm immediately talking about, okay, so what'd you do? How can you do it better? How can we support you? She's like, why are you taking their side? Well, I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, man, forget them. Like, me and you, let's talk about, how you can grow from this situation. Not the best approach in every situation at all. So I'm learning to cater that, to cartel that myself, but also I'm interested in a woman who is open-minded and has this perspective of like, God really got me. You know what I'm saying to you? Because I believe so freely in him. When I say it's a fear, it may be a fear. A fear is like getting with someone who worries so much that it starts to impact my faith.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you have not found that woman? I guess a lot of my friends must have been lying, because what you're saying, I have friends, they have cute ankles and nice eyebrows, and they're open-minded. So, so let
Do
me
those
go back.
friends' names start with Zondra and end with Wilson?
Stop. So, so does looks matter, Donovan? Meaning, can she be any age? Can she be any weight? Any?
I mean, my weight is not a big deal for me at all. And age, me and my ex had like an 11-year difference between us. 11 years, she was younger than me. I did date a woman that was like 3 or 4 years older than me. Like that, those things don't really matter to me. And I love weird women, like, just a little off, like she doesn't really fit in with the cool kids. Like, I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying to you? I think the people often look at me and think they know what kind of woman I would be with, and they usually get it wrong.
Okay, all righty.
That's
So
interesting.
so the women you've been coming in contact with. So
Yeah.
what are you seeing out there that you keep running into that you are not liking?
Well, I'll give you an issue with me, which is probably why I haven't met some of these women. Here's an issue that I have that I'm working on. Becoming a male exotic dancer at 19, I never had to chase women, and so my pursuit game is a little whack. My initiation game is almost non-existent. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm so used to them coming to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I've had to work on. One of my mentors, like, yo, you have to stop insinuating what you want, lifting your eyebrow, and like, kind of just giving them that look and go after it, brother. You know what I'm saying to you? So that can be a big issue. Yeah, exactly. That I have to, hey, I'm Donovan, and as cool as stuff that I try to act sometimes, boy, butterflies and bumblebees get in my stomach and insecurities show up, which is like a big reason why I was a dancer. I just never found myself attractive, and I was trying to see if anybody else did. Like, so a lot of those insecurities show up when it's time to move forward. And so a lot of these women out here who are eligible and stuff like that, you say you've been talking to, a lot of reasons we probably haven't met is because I just wouldn't make the move.
Hey, that's interesting. I want to touch what you just said, because I think that's very interesting. You said one of the reasons you think you became a male exotic dancer is because of your insecurities. You didn't feel good that you was attractive, so you wanted to see if other people did. Now, most people would think you have to have supreme confidence to become a male exotic dancer. But you're saying for you it was the opposite. And
I had supreme confidence in my ability to perform.
Okay.
But I didn't feel like I was attractive.
I got you.
Okay.
Hey, I want to ask you a question as it relates to women. What would you say to, like, even women that are watching this show that feels like, why can't they find anyone to commit to them and things of this nature? Because I see sometimes, even from this conversation, maybe the light bulb is coming on that maybe their perspective has been off, like thinking they need to look finer. They need to get these surgeries, or they need to do all of these things that they think has been the problem. What would you say to those women?
Good.
I would simply say you guys have to agree on what commitment actually is and what it looks like for you guys. I think you guys said it with the letter in the bottle piece. Like, some people don't see commitment as marriage. They don't see commitment as you guys living together, and they don't see it like, I'm not signing a license over to the state. I think the first thing you want to identify is like really partner or seek out people who see commitment the way you see it. I know too many people who have been in situations, and at the end of the day, they love each other, they have a chemistry, but they don't see commitment the same way. And so while one person is saying, I'm committed to you, the other person is saying, but not the way I want you to commit.
Right.
Why we didn't have a conversation, because we think that everybody looks at commitment the same way, that it ends in us getting married and getting a license. And some people don't see it that way. So I would really say, like, spend more time identifying what your vision of commitment really is, and then seeing if you can find people that agree with that before you start opening up and giving them access to you.
Right. Now, one of the things I'm seeing. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I want to just go back for 1 second. You were talking about your initiation game is non-existent. Does that mean that you are open to women approaching you?
Yeah, that's the norm. That's
I'm saying, like, we're thinking about traditional male and female roles, and really proposing is not like the ideal thing to do. That should be what you do for your woman, but you're cool with them initiating the interaction.
I don't put a lot of stake in who does the initiation. And I think the part of me that is cool with it is the part of me that I need to not just rely on them. I'm too heavily relying on them doing that. And it's like me neglecting my part that I play in that. So yeah, I'm cool with that. It's really like the boy in me, like, yeah, we don't really want to, like, no, but the man in me says, like, no, it's equal opportunity out there. And we need to make sure that we don't miss out on something because we scared and what's wrong with us? Let's do this.
That's what I was just about to say. Piggybacking off of Janine's question, I think that you probably have not found her because of that. Most women, a lot of it's a lot of women are waiting on the man to do the approaching or the
and she could be a bit intimidated. That
I've heard that.
that right one is kind of on some. He wouldn't want me, and she could be perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Little weird stuff with the gap teeth. With the nice ankles. Yeah.
Real talk. Looking at your pictures, you look like that dude that can get anybody and has probably had anybody. And so why even bother saying hello to you?
No, you don't.
Right, Zondra?
Hater alert.
Right?
Yeah,
and so we also think, the ones with the nice ankles and eyebrows are looking at you like, I'm not even going to say anything because I know somebody must have that on lockdown. That can't be walking around available.
Yeah. Or they'll say it's a red flag. That's why we wanted you on the show. Like, how is it that he's this age and have not found anyone that fits the bill? So is it like he's being too choosy or too picky or is too,
There's another component of that shows up. What you say?
Is he gay?
Oh yeah, or is he gay? Yeah.
Clean that up.
One.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go ahead and clean that up right now.
Yeah, not and never have been. Usually when that comes out, that's like the last level of frustration that the woman has with the fact that I'm not giving her time of day. And I let her sit with that. You know what I'm saying? I never defend it because I don't need to. I don't need to convince her that I'm anything because I don't care to be anything with her. So think what you want as long as you leave me alone. You can think whatever. I don't mind at all. I'm an alien. Yes. Just go away.
The question I got next. Someone asked, what was your stage name?
Why? Why, Pastor Rick? Why?
I don't know why. I'm just asking. Don't ask me this.
You know what? It's crazy, man. This is part of my transition why I had to leave, man. The name was Mr. Goodbar. You always want to hear that name. You always want to hear that name. All right, you guys signing off.
Hey, isn't that a candy bar or something?
It is Hershey's.
Yeah.
It is.
With
Pastor Rick, We're gonna talk after the show.
Yeah.
Pastor Rick, now
You need to ask how you got the
make
nickname,
him
or we
never
shouldn't
want
go
to
there.
come back to the show, please.
All right, I won't do that.
I'm actually I'm writing a book right now. I already wrote
That's
like
what I was
14
saying.
chapters. Okay. So hopefully I'm gonna publish about the end of the I'm gonna publish it's 14 chapters. I'm gonna publish the first 5 chapters before the end of the year is out. It's called The Stripped Club. Lost it all, trying to gain it all, wondering if it was all worth it. And so in essence, the book talks about like me and as a young kid and how I was Prince Charming in preschool and I did all these things and how adults celebrated me for different things as a child, like kissing a girl on stage. Or like my mom made me go kiss the neighbor for Valentine's Day. And in my mind, I registered this as, well, this is when I get praised. This is when I get liked. And how all that transitioned into people telling me I was a heartbreaker as a kid and you're so handsome, you're going to break a whole bunch of hearts. All that subliminal stuff led me down this specific path. And then how after I left the club, God really stripped me of everything and broke me down and told me that you'll never know what's within until you have to live without. So after I quit stripping, he stripped me. And so this book kind of tells you a little bit of that journey. So I'm publishing the first 5 chapters probably at the end of the year, just so people can start to get a glimpse of my story and my name and how I ended up changing my name. And like Pastor Rick had taught me in his teachings, how important your name is because it is connected to what you believe your purpose is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have about 12 names that I've been called throughout my life, and I was able to identify purpose with each one of them. And it's kind of scary to look back on.
So Donovan, you said something interesting. You said growing up that you were praised for certain things and said that you were going to be a heartbreaker, but yet and still you said you didn't think that you were a handsome person. How did that come about when you were praised and just told that as a kid, but then you still just didn't?
Because I believed somebody one day and I went after something I wanted based on my looks and I didn't get it. And so the only logical thing was that they were gassing me up. I tell you, I wanted to be in Hollywood. I wanted to be an actor and a model. And so all these people telling me, I got all these thoughts in my mind, these echoes of people talking to me over the years. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. You're so handsome. Well, I'm going to take me and my handsome self to Hollywood and watch me just blow up the scene. Hollywood was like, nah, we good.
I got you.
Huh.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey, now you said you were author. I know this book is coming out, but is there another book that's already out?
Yeah, so good plug. I appreciate you. So my first book I published in 2014 is called Before the I Do, Are You My Happily Ever After? So it is a relationship book about premarital stuff. I interviewed a lot of married couples and find out like how they did it from beginning to continuation and preservation. So that's Before the I Do, Are You My Happily Ever After? And then my second book is Evolving the Entrepreneur, the premeditated assault on stagnation. So I really like to focus on entrepreneurship and relationships. And I do a lot of leadership coaching. So those are the 2 books that are out now on my website, Evolving Entrepreneur and Before the I Do.
And what's that website?
Right there in my tag, DonovanDDonnell.com.
Okay.
So question, when you're not looking at eyebrows and ankles, what do you do for a living?
I work throughout the day, 8 to 5. I work as a project coordinator at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. I work with the medical group, not at the hospital. And then after work is when I do, my coaching and my speaking.
Life coaching. Okay.
Yeah, life coaching. Okay. Yeah, and photography. Which Pastor Rick wants to be a part of all the time.
Okay, guys, we got about 10 more minutes. So Donovan, wrapping this up.
Yeah.
Let us know what kind of woman you said about your purpose. So explain to us, what is your purpose? So when women are trying to approach you, they will at least know if they fit into what it is you're trying to do.
So my purpose, like I have on my website, is to help people escape the loop. The loop is the illusion of living. It's the life you feel like you have, but it's absent God's covering, God's promise, and God's anointing. So my goal in this generation, I feel like, is to simplify things and help people see. I believe that everybody's purpose stems from one of the things that Jesus came to do, set the captives free, restore sight to the blind, heal, and stuff like that. My purpose is in the vein of setting the captives free. And so the woman I'm looking for is someone who can partner with me as I do that. One of my mentors told me, like, there's a good chance that you've definitely been called in to minister to women. I didn't like it, didn't want to receive it, but it continued to show up that way. And so it would need to have a woman who can support me in that, I don't know. And she, Yeah, and not really affect her in a negative way. But then also a woman who will allow me in because I really want to serve and share my gifts, and so someone who's not really stuck up on being independent, wants to go on an adventure with me, of just like, let's just try this out. It's an experiment. We know God's got us. And so really that open-mindedness and that secureness are the real two big things I'm looking for internally outside of the ankles and eyebrows that I feel like really sealed the deal for me.
Okay. So you haven't found anyone to fit that bill?
Every time I do, I try to make it happen. And one thing I did want to add that has shown up in my life is, you guys be careful of stage fright. When you are chosen, don't cower out. Because a lot of us have found ourselves in great opportunities and they slip right through our fingers because in our off season, we didn't build up our courage. In our off season, we didn't ground ourselves in who we were. Once the spotlight hit, it started to reveal things that you didn't work on in your off season and you were ashamed. So I would say a few of the situations I've been in, people have gotten stage fright. Like, it's time now, let's do this. And the person I chose to date or to lock it down with, it's like they just change into somebody else once the spotlight hit. So got to watch out for that. But whoever is next, I'm going to pursue her with the same passion. And when God says it's so, it's going to be so.
Okay. All right. Any final questions, squad? This has been very, very enlightening. So I'm sure we're going to be hit up with a bunch of potentials. So we'll have Rick.
Send on to Pastor Rick.
Right.
He knows me. Send on to Pastor Rick. If they don't make it past him, I don't need to even talk to him.
So Pastor Rick, we said that we're going to send them to you. So
after we vet what comes in, certainly. I just want to say, you said something early on that when you were in single digits, you wanted to be married and have a family. Yeah. And I really haven't heard that a lot. It seems like that's a woman thing. From the time we come out of the womb, we're just kind of socialized that that's what we should desire to have. So to know that there are men out there that have been dreaming of that and asking God for the same thing, that's encouraging.
Yes, it's very encouraging.
Donovan, did that come from you, like, just scoping out the world, or was it a mentor in your life as you were a kid, pastor, uncle? Where did that come from?
It's a good question. I didn't grow up with my father, so I didn't grow up in a family that was like made like that. I've never been asked that question before. But the best way I can answer is that my first mentors, and I wrote this in one of my other books, one of my first mentors were Popeye and He-Man. And so I got the idea of what family could look like from cartoons. Wow. And of course, that would make me the superhero. And so that's the identity I took on at a young age. And I saw, Popeye fighting for olive oil. And I saw He-Man with his castle and his princess and all that. And I just took that and I was like, I want to be a superhero. And the superheroes I like, they have a family. Like, they have offspring. Like, they have an empire. They have a legacy. And I think that's where it grew for me. Popeye's the reason I eat, spinach. So that played a big role.
All right. So do you eat spinach? You said you eat spinach?
I love it. I love vegetables.
All right. Well, okay.
So ladies out there, you gotta know how to cook a mean spinach.
Send in ankle pictures and eyebrow pictures. We will send them to Zondra Essence and Sam Wilson at yahoo.com.
Hey, do you know how busy the pedicure shops are getting right now?
Right now.
He said ankles, so they can't do that with the
ankles. I'm saying, unless they get new ankles.
Surgery. Donovan, what gym could meet you at? Because
they buy an ankle
my gym is like my church, man. You can't be coming in there.
That's gonna be busy.
They got microblading eyebrows. Exactly. Yeah, man. Do that. I don't mind if it ain't real. I don't mind surgery either. It's all good. Do what you need to do.
Donovan, before we sign off, give everybody your information, where they can contact you. Pretty much all your good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. I made it simple. So DonovanDDonnell.com is my website. Donovan D. Donnell on Facebook. Donovan D. Donnell on Instagram. And I just started a TikTok and Twitter page because I had to for this other business I'm doing, and I'm Donnell Bueno on there.
Okay. All right. Donovan, so hopefully we'll bring you back and you'll have your little your fiance. So
Man,
we'd love to have you back. I'm sure we're going to have some
next week.
Hey, let's make it happen. Come on, Jesus, finally, right?
It will.
He can move like that. He can move like that.
Can move like that. Oh my gosh,
Donovan,
thank you so much.
man.
Wow.
Yes,
My pleasure.
good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donovan D. Darnell.
Yeah.
Oh wow, thank you. That was good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Man, so Rick, we said in all of these, so you can email me and I'm gonna forward them to Rick.
Oh yeah, they going
ladies, don't send your ankle shots, your eyebrows.
Or you can send them to me.
We're gonna let Donovan choose.
We will help in the vetting process and forward them on.
Have fun.
So if he's someone that I'm sure
you're in trouble. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
If Zondra and Jenean are choosing for you, you are in trouble.
Excuse me, my husband is delicious. I have excellent taste.
I didn't say that.
So you're not in trouble if you send it to me.
60 and over, Donovan. 60 and over. That's what you're going to get right there.
Anyway, what a wonderful way to start season 2. The Ship Squad is back in full effect. That was amazing.
This was good.
So y'all keep tuning in because that's just the beginning. We have guests after guests lined up for this season.
Yes. Like, subscribe, share, and for all of you guys, please send in your letters. You can put your email address in the comment section. I'll find you, and then you can send me your letters anonymously. You don't have to use your name if you don't want to. We will definitely just put a whatever tag on there. If you want to be a guest on our show, like Brother Donovan, come on. We're gonna be good to you. Look, you know I got your back. You know I got your back. And so that's what we're all about, is hooking people up and getting people together. Yes. So I'm believing Donovan is going to find his soulmate, and the ship's going to have a big part of that. So,
because maybe she was watching today.
Yeah, I'm sure this is everywhere. So we know she's watching. We believe in, we bring down the good vibes for her. All right, guys.
Watching Donovan.
What did he say? What'd you say?
Mama is watching.
Oh.
So you're just not even right. So
I know he's rolling his eyes.
Married, and we're trying to get. So we're gonna bring on some more people, guys, some more men and some more women.
Yes.
We're gonna do some makeovers going forward. This is gonna be a hot season. So stay tuned. All right, guys. Until
Tuesdays live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Guys. Until next time. See you later.
Peace.
Peace.